So I want to cut, you know, I like the end. Look at our bread. Hear the knife going through it. On today's episode of the Jamaican Cooking Journey, I'll be showing you how to make a whole grain bread. Now, if at no other time in our lives we would want to be teaching ourselves or learning to bake a loaf of bread, it would be now. It doesn't matter where you are. Okay, yard or abroad, a loaf of bread. Serious times are ahead. I just rhymed there. Now I have some ingredients right in here, and all of those will be listed on the screen. You just slow down the screen while you go along, or you can look in the description. I guarantee I will put that there for you. So I'm gonna take a mix right here. This is 2 teaspoons of olive oil. I'm gonna eyeball it though. Yeah, tablespoon should say. So I think that's 1, and now I think that's 2. So I'm gonna give it a mix. Remember, the ingredients will be on the screen. You can slow it down, or you can look in the description of this video. So many little things. It happens to be a whole grain bread, and I'm showing you this. And I did mix, and after I mix together, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt. I actually did not want the yeast to get in accordance with the salt, so I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt right there. And to this we are gonna add, if you are using your hand, then you would do it in a bowl. So I have my mixer, if you do have so, and this is what the mixer look like. So you have no other questions to ask than the ingredients, and it will be listed right there for you. Okay, now we are going to get our bowl onto our machine, and we're going to add 2 cups of warm water. Remember, you know, if you're doing it by hand, you're using your hand to knead it, you just put all the ingredients that will be listed on the screen in a huge bowl. Use your warm water and your spoon or your spatula to go along. Okay, so if you're using the mixer, you do just as I do. So we're gonna get this started on the low. So you want to be adding to that 2 cups of water, but you don't want to be warmed water, might I say. You don't want to be adding it all at once. And the warm will be just like your baby's bottle, or about 110 degrees. Okay, so right there we are mixing it together. This is extra hot, so we gotta cool this down. So this is our first cup of water, and you're going to use the first cup of water to mix and to get it all incorporated, and we're going to add the other one as we go along. Mind you, your flour that you're using might be a different type of flour from what I am using, or maybe your weather. It depends on the weather when you're making this and the type of flour. Okay, so we're gonna, the idea here is to get it all mixed in, so we can get with mixer up a little bit more, is to mix it in until all of it comes together. You may use the 1 cup, the 2 cups of warm water, or you may not, or you may need a little more depending on your choice of flour. So we're going to mix it as it go along there in the mixer. Yeah, and it will take it down just a little bit, easing it down a little, easing down all the flour, because it's a big mixer and it's a small amount of ingredients. These mixers were made to bring in like batches of 2 and 3. See there? So you see it's mixing it now, getting pan it dad. Yeah, so we're gonna mix until all is incorporated, and then we're gonna come back and show you how you're to add your other remaining cup of water. We're opting for a whole grain bread. All the ingredients will tell you why we call it a whole grain bread. So that's 1 cup of water, and we're gonna mix until we get in all of that dryness, and then we are going to pour our another cup of water. Okay, you see how it's mixed in there? We want it soft. You see that? Now we are going to add half a cup more of this warm water. We're going to increase our speed because we're having more like a dough as opposed to dry ingredients right there. Okay? Sometimes we need a little help with our spatula to move down for this small amount, so don't mind that. So I'm going to move it down with the spatula because I want all that moisture to be all over the bread. So one side is a little moist, so we're going to put the machine not on too high. We're going to use it as we would use our hands right here. This is good. So here we're going to mix until we have all the sides clean, but as we go along we're going to increase the speed. So what I'll do now, I'll add probably half of that cup of water that is left. So I'll use 1 3/4. I also am going to increase the speed at this point. So we are going to increase the speed and we are going to mix until all that moisture is absorbed. Okay, and then we have all the sides cleaning and a dough ball is formed. When it looks like a ball, I'll show you. If you're new, you might not understand, but if you're not new, I've done this already. Next clip. So we have increased our speed to speed 7. So this is how you want your dough to be looking. You see it's forming. As it comes up, it's forming like a ball. It is gonna come up on the hook. Okay, we're using our dough hook. You see it's bringing everything together in like making a ball. So we're gonna leave it there. If you're using your hand, you'll have to do this for about 15 minutes. But with this, we will do this for about 8 minutes. So we are gonna let it do that. You can see one more time, Dad. They will see how it's working the dough until it cleans all the side and comes up onto the dough as a ball. You see that? Don't mind the jerking of the mixer. You see what I'm talking about? All the sides have been cleaned and everything is coming up onto the dough into a ball. We are almost ready, you know? So if you are using your hand, it will be, you have to do it until it comes into a ball, stretching itself and, you know, not sticking to the sides of your bowl. Which when you go to my original bread video, that is clocking 600 and something thousand views, you will see that. It takes a lot. My shoulder can't manage that no more, and I have this mixer. So we're gonna turn our mixer, bring it down just to pour, bring it down. You see that gluten? I bring it down. You see that gluten? We're gonna remove it from the bowl, add a little dry flour, not a lot, just a small amount. You'll see that next. So we are gonna get it from the bowl. Now you see that stretch? Look at it. Look how it's coming out the bowl. You're gonna get it right out the bowl. You look a scraper, of course. Yeah. You see that stretch? Yes, it's coming out the bowl with that stretch. And you have the bowl with the clean sides. Yeah. You see that stretch? Look at it as it comes down. So we just added flour. You see that? Just a little flour. This feels so good. So good. We're gonna go now, clean our bowl a little, or maybe I'll use another bowl. I'll grease it and I'll put it in there and I'll leave it to come to double the size in bulk. It's still warm. Try take a note. Look at the dough. You see all of those grains in there. Remember, we were opting for a whole grain bread. That's what we're hoping. With a glass, plastic, stainless steel, it doesn't matter, your bowl of choice. We're gonna leave it, we're gonna grease the bowl. The reason for greasing this bowl is to enable this bread or this dough, when it's coming out of it, it doesn't stick whilst it's there proofing. This is our dough, it's not a bread as yet. So we're gonna leave it in there. Gonna put a little oil. It don't have to be olive oil, but I prefer if you use olive oil in the mixture. But for grease in the bowl, it doesn't have to be olive oil. You're gonna just, you know, you see it? Yeah. So we're gonna cover it with plastic wrap. Yeah, and we are going to leave it for, I don't know where you will be when you do your own. It's not that warm right here, so 1 to 1.5 hours. Catch you then. So this is our dough after 1 hour. So you know, the regular, we use it for deflating. So we're gonna take it out. It should come out just like that onto your surface. So this is the size pan. I leave the measurement of the pan for you too. And I normally just like to flat it out. To the length of the pan. And I just like to give it a little roll up, kind of like a tight up roll. Nothing much, nothing too hard. And it's still warm. It's not supposed to be sticking at this point. You can pinch it up and you put it, turn it over on the top. Let it shape like a dough to the length of the pan. You want to carefully put it in your pan. When you put it in your pan, you just fix it out. You're going to let it rise for a second time, maybe 45 minutes, depending on where you are, depending on the temperature and all of that. Now, you are going to let it rise for the second time. And you're also going to put back your plastic wrap or another piece of plastic wrap. You're going to let it rise until it come almost to the top, or it may go over the top, depend. So we're going to set it in there. We're going to let it rise. And then we are gonna put it back in the same place. I did turn on my oven, no temperature set, and I did put it right there. So I'm gonna cover it and put it back. Just turn on the oven light and put it there. Exclip. Now, this is our dough after the second rising. Maybe I put my plastic over it. So you wanna gently brush on some melted butter. Now I'm gonna brush it on gently. We are gonna need some of the grains that we put in there. You could leave a little out of what you have, or if you have additional, you can use it. So we're gonna go first with some of the this seed. You know what this one it is that I'm using. I'm gonna go with this one first. As our oven preheat your oven to 375, 350, 375 the most, and we're gonna let it go for about 35 to 40 minutes. So you preheat it with this. I never ever can remember the name of this one. It's not poppy seed. They have the black and they have. Now you're gonna do your flaxseed. All the grains that we use, and if you want additional, you can use it too. So we're gonna use it first. That one there, you remember to use that one first that we did. You want to pop it all over it. Brush it with your melted butter first. Pop on your seeds as much as you like. So that's the flaxseed there, and then we're gonna finish off with our oats, because the oats, they are bigger and broader. They are drier, not really drier, but they tend to hold less. So you're gonna brush it and you're gonna just take some time and you can put it over it evenly, but as much as you like. Remember I said that. Look at that, we're waiting on our preheating signal to go off. So I need to leave at the top there. To this side, we don't want it burning in the oven, coming down to drop in the oven and burn. So that's you. or multigrain, or I would say multigrain whole wheat bread. We saw the ingredients. We're waiting on a preheated signal to go off. 375. I'll put that also for you, and you will see me when this bread is ready in the next clip. Here is our bread cooking, fam. Here we go, coming out of the oven. So we're gonna let it cool down a bit because we can't let it stay in this pan very long. Okay, we're gonna take it out and put it onto a wire rack. We're gonna put very gently so that our grains stay on. You lose a little of them as you go along. It's gonna put some more melted butter on the top. This is what our whole grain bread looks like. So we'll give it a few, and we can come back and slice a piece that you can see on the inside what it looks like. You know, the proof of anything that I bake is in the eating. I'm not gonna eat today though. So I wanna cut, you know, I like the end. Look at our bread. Hear the knife going through it. Look at your bread. Look at your whole grain bread. You see that?
Perfect.
You see this? And it's still hot. You want to put some nice jam. You want to put the jam. And everything. I'm not gonna eat as I did in the last one. I'm just gonna show you. Making your bread at home these days, it's worth the while. I always say to you, fam, from my kitchen to yours, from my Jamaican kitchen to your family table, to your plate, and most of all to your stomach, it is all grain bread done just for you. Thanks for loving, thanks for supporting. I list all the ingredients in the description and also as you watch on the screen. Happy baking!